Welcome back everybody, Maverick here, and today we are going over the top 10 Mortal Kombat Deception death traps. Now death traps are basically stage fatalities, except you can perform it at any point during the battle. You don't have to wait until the finish him or finish her screen, which adds an element of strategy. Nonetheless, death traps, or stage fatalities, which they kind of are a much welcomed addition to Mortal Kombat Deception because the immediate predecessor Deadly Alliance did not have any form of stage fatalities or death traps. And that's not very becoming of a Mortal Kombat game because death traps, stage fatalities, have gone all the way back to the very origins of Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 1 on the Sega, on the Super Nintendo, had the Pit Fatality, one of the most classic stage fatalities in all of Mortal Kombat. So to not have a single one in Deadly Alliance was a real bummer, but guess what? Just like they made up for the crappy fatalities in Deadly Alliance, they also have gone above and beyond with stage fatalities, turning them into death traps in Mortal Kombat Deception. Now there's 19 of them total if you count the alternate views for certain levels, and I cannot wait, so let's go over them right now. Here is the character select screen, and if you hit R1 on the Xbox controller, it brings up the select an arena. And here's Beetle Lair. You can scroll through all of these. We've unlocked them all after having played through Conquest mode and gone through the crypt. And you'll note, oh here's the pit, hell yeah. You'll note that some of these have little emblems at the bottom of them. Like there's two right there, an axe and a transition, an arrow there. Here's Slaughterhouse, it has all three. So what does that mean? On the far left there's that axe, that means there's a weapon to pick up on the level. In the middle there's that arrow, that means there's a transition, which means you can hit someone to a different area of the level, like through a wall or down to a different landing platform. Now the one we want to pay attention to is on the far right, that red skull, that means there's a death trap. And the level of detail that they've gone to put these icons on each arena to tell us, hey, here's what you're looking for, here's what you need to know about the arena is amazing. They did a hell of a job with this. Now, we'll be starting off with Dark Prison, for no other reason than I don't know a better way to go through these than alphabetically, and Dark Prison is up first in the alphabet. So let's head on into Dark Prison.
Flawless victory.
Whew, so Melina gets smashed to pieces in that spiked compactor. And you know what's crazy about the Dark Prison is it's a prison, you can see the prisoners in the background. And the prisoners can actually hold you against the bars if you get too close to them. I'm pretty sure this death trap is a killing device for the prisoners within the Dark Prison. So the fact that this device, this death trap, plays into the lore of the arena itself is pretty awesome. And the death trap itself is also pretty cool, a spike compactor smashing someone to death. So this is making the top 10, hopping into the number 1 spot. For now, if you've never seen one of these top 10 Mortal Kombat videos of mine, we fill in from the top. So while Dark Prison is in the first place spot right now, there may be other arenas, other death traps that best it and come in ahead of it, knocking it down to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th place, etc. Up next is the classic arena Deadpool.
Scorpion wins. Flawless victory.
Who doesn't love Deadpool? Ever since playing Mortal Kombat 2, when Deadpool was always the first arena in the combat tower, I must have seen this stage fatality 1,000 times and I've loved it every time. And here we even get the oh when the body comes back up from the acid, or I say body, when the skeleton comes back up from the acid. It's a classic arena stage fatality. And is it making the top 10? Yes, bouncing into the number 2 spot is Deadpool, if nothing else because of the nostalgia. For players like myself who have played Mortal Kombat since the early days of Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 2, have a certain soft spot for stage fatalities / death traps like these when the nostalgia just hits us. Now I know Deadpool isn't for everyone, there's nothing fancy about it, it's not a spiked compactor within a prison, that's pretty cool, that's why it's ahead of Deadpool. But Deadpool falling into a pool of acid is still pretty darn cool, even if it has been played out over the last, gosh, how long has Mortal Kombat been around? More than 2 decades, I'll say that. Up next is the Dragon King's Temple.
Scorpion wins. Flawless victory.
How cool is this? It feels so good to perform this death trap on somebody because you can't do it to Onaga when you're playing an arcade. And you always fight Onaga in the Dragon King's Temple, it's his temple. And yeah, he'll knock your ass into the spikes. It feels so good to finally do it to someone else as well. Now this is a really cool death trap because you're on a platform and these spikes are like a little bit lowered and they're going around the track at an angle, almost like a NASCAR racetrack, you know, where they've got the elevation on the track leaning in for the centripetal or centrifugal force. So these spikes are definitely designed for the combatants to hit each other into, and boy does it work well when it works. Goodness, I mean, Melina was entirely impaled on that spike. That's crazy. It's like a pit fatality, except it's all around the arena, and you can use your own force to knock them in instead of gravity. I love this fatality. So it's no surprise that bouncing into the #1 spot is the Dragon King's Temple, ahead of Dark Prison and ahead of Deadpool. I just really like that the Dragon King's Temple, where you fight the boss of the game on arcade, has a death trap in it. So if you're not getting your ass kicked by Onaga, you may find yourself impaled on spikes, which has happened to me if you see my playthroughs. I think I got impaled on these spikes against Onaga with both Shao Kahn and my Goro playthroughs, which, man, that was defeating. I was shocked when it happened because I usually wasn't that close to the edge either. I guess Onaga's powerful enough to just knock your ass in there no matter where you are. It definitely keeps you on your toes. Up next is Falling Cliffs, and there's actually 3 variants to see on Falling Cliffs, so let's jump on in.
Flawless victory.
So the first Falling Cliffs variant is when you knock your opponent off the side, and it's basically a pit fatality. They get impaled and fall down, get impaled upon a single large spiked piece of rock. It's pretty brutal. They scream all the way down and then kind of struggle on the spike for a bit. It's a cool death trap, I'll say that, but it's not making the top 10 because, wait for it, one of the other Falling Cliffs variants will make the top 10.
Flawless victory.
Now you may be wondering what the heck is different about this variant of Falling Cliffs. Well, what's different is the camera angle falling down. And why it's different is because your opponent doesn't knock you off. This is the camera angle for when you happen to be just standing there too close to the edge and you fall off, to no one's fault but your own. Now it is very similar to the first variant where your opponent knocks you off instead of you just falling down. So this one's also not making the top 10, but there's one more variant that is really cool. Really cool. I love this for Falling Cliffs. Let's take a look at it.
Wins. Flawless victory.
Now this variant of Falling Cliffs where you both fall off the cliffs is amazing. How cool is that, where 2 opponents, when you're fighting each other, you're focused on the battle, you know, like what are they going to do next? Or do I need to block the spear? Do I need to watch out for a rolling kick? Are they going to pull their weapon out and try to do a combo? Oh no, we're both falling off the cliff at the same time. And you get a different camera angle going down, and you get a nice little panoramic widescreen angle after you both fall on those giant rock spikes. And you can see that there's actually other bodies down there who have suffered the same fate. This is an excellent death trap. I love it. This is the kind of creativity that I love to see in Mortal Kombat, and it's totally shocking to be able to have both opponents fall off at the same time. So is it making the top 10? Absolutely, it's making the top 10. Hopping into the #2 spot is Falling Cliffs variant with both combatants falling off the cliff. Now it comes in behind the Dragon King's Temple, but ahead of Dark Prison and Deadpool. Up next is Golden Desert, which also has 2 different death traps on it.
Flawless victory.
So in this death trap, Melina gets knocked off the edge and then falls onto a spiked rock, much like in Falling Cliffs, except this time there's a little bit of extra detail. It looks like an organ is protruded out her interior stomach, abdomen, and there's also like part of her rib cage protruding out. It's a cool death trap, I'll say, but something about the Golden Desert just doesn't speak to me, so this one's actually not making the top 10.
Flawless victory.
So if you knock your opponent into the rock wall behind them on the Golden Desert, that big statue falls down upon them. Now you'll notice that Scorpion did a pretty graceful backflip to avoid the rock. That backflip animation is true of any character when this death trap is going down. So for example, if you do this on the GameCube, you'll also get Goro, this massive Shokan, doing this unexpectedly graceful backflip to get out of the way. But here, this statue does fall on top of Melina, crushing her, but there's not much to it besides that. So while it is cool, and I love all death traps if I'm being honest, this one doesn't make the top 10. Up next is Hell's Foundry.
Scorpion wins. Flawless victory.
Now this is a cool death trap, you have to admit, because you're in a foundry. This is a factory making metallic objects for, I don't know, probably an unsavory client, considering it's the realm of Mortal Kombat, but nonetheless a client. Somebody is paying for this, or if not paying for it, using their royal title to have it done by their subjects. And knowing that somebody is going to receive an item that they commissioned with an outline of a charred body on it is a hilarious idea to me. I wonder if they won't just look at it and immediately assume, oh, somebody must have fallen in. This happens every once in a while. Because this death trap, you knock them in there and they just get pounded by this foundry device, smashing the opponent against hot metal. And really there is nothing left of the body except for some black charred remains, which then promptly goes down the assembly line off to its next step in the process. Now, knowing that this is eventually going to make its way to a client, and it is a pretty cool death trap, getting smashed against molten hot iron or molten hot metal of some kind, this is bouncing into the number 2 spot behind the Dragon King's Temple, but ahead of Fallen Cliffs, Dark Prison, and Deadpool. This one just has so much character to it. Up next is the Shokan Subterranean Arena Kuotan Palace.
Scorpion wins. Flawless victory.
I love this death trap. It's very, very similar to Deadpool. You knock your opponent into the molten lava, molten magma. I guess if it's technically a subterranean thing for the Shokan, it would be magma, because it's not lava until it's above ground. Technicalities aside, whatever it is, the opponent gets knocked into it, and they get burned to a crisp, right? Now, Deadpool made the top 10, largely maybe because of nostalgia, but Kuotan Palace is also going to make the top 10, bouncing into the number 6 spot. Is Kuotan Palace, and I don't know how to say that, if it's Kuotan or Kuotan. Whatever it is, it's in the number 6 spot right now. Now, the reason it's behind Deadpool is 1, nostalgia, but 2, there's no extra voice when the skeleton pops back up out of the lava / magma. Because on Deadpool we got the oh, and I don't know what that is, but I like it. But that's another reason, or lack thereof, why this one's landing in the number 6 spot. Up next is the Lower Mines, and this one actually has 3 variants. You know, they could have actually put like a skull times 3 if they wanted to be really specific on this, but I'll take what they've got for us. Let's go check out the Lower Mines.
Scorpion wins. Flawless victory.
Damn, this is a pretty cool death trap, I'm not gonna lie. Basically, Melina gets sucked into this grinder, and you can see her body parts flying up as it spins around. It's brutal, it's bloody, there's body parts going everywhere. This is probably another device for the mining that's being done in the Lower Mines arena. But this one actually isn't making the top 10, if for no other reason because there's one variant on the Lower Mines that I like even better. So let's go check out the other 2.
Flawless victory.
Now, don't get me wrong, I like this death trap, I like all death traps, but this one you don't actually get to see what's happening. Melina falls into the abyss with this glowing fire, and you see the flames come up and she screams and she presumably dies a fiery death. But much like Smoke's fatality on the top 10 Mortal Kombat Deception Fatality video, it's probably really cool, I just can't see it. So for that reason, this one's not making the top 10.
Scorpion wins. Flawless victory.
I mean, this death trap is almost cute. You know, you got this cute little dragon metal device that's chomping away. It's a little chomping dragon. And you knock Melina into it in this case, and she just gets chomped. Her body parts go everywhere. Now, some of you are definitely going to disagree with me on this one, but this one is calling to me. I like this one. I don't know, it's a mixture of brutality and cuteness, because if you look at that dragon, somebody crafted this, you know? Somebody made this out of metal, and it's like designed to clamp down. It's like a giant mousetrap. Except in this case, it's catching combatants who get too close to it. Why is it in the Lower Mines? I can't explain that, but I do like it. And because you don't have to go through any transition to get to this, I've used this death trap so many times, and I've really developed a fondness for it. It's the simple but powerful chomp that just, I don't know. I enjoy watching a cute dragon chomp down on my opponent for a death trap. Instant victory. It's got the teeth, the red eyes, the horns. I love it. So this one is making the top 10. It's bouncing into the number 1 spot. Yes, I do. I said I have a fondness for it, right? It's something about it. It's the whole action. It's all of it put together. The chomp, the body parts going everywhere, the dragon design itself. I love it. So it is coming ahead of even the Dragon King's Temple, even ahead of Hell's Foundry. Ahead of everything right now is the Lower Mines Dragon Death Trap. Up next is a place we are no stranger to, the Nexus Arena.
Scorpion wins. Flawless victory.
So if you get too close to the edge in the Nexus, you can be knocked off through the little wall there into oblivion. I don't know where it goes. You just go into this like storm surrounding the Nexus, because the Nexus is an interdimensional place. It's how you get from one realm to the next. So we knocked Melina into that vortex, that stormy vortex surrounding the Nexus, and she's not dead. And I don't know what's going to happen to her. She's just going to float around until she starves to death or something. I really don't know. It could be a pretty grim fate for Melina or whoever else gets knocked off the Nexus. But it's not nearly as creative as some of these other death traps, so this one is not making the top 10. Up next is Quan Chi's fortress with the laser spider webs. Look, I've been around since Quan Chi was introduced as a new character. I've played Sub-Zero Mortal Kombat Mythologies, I've seen where he hangs out, I've played Mortal Kombat 4, I've played Mortal Kombat Gold, I've played Deadly Lines, I've played every game with Quan Chi in it. I have never seen him use lasers before, so lasers, and in fact lasers in the shape of spider webs, is coming out of left field. I don't hate it though. Quan Chi is a sorcerer, maybe it's just using technology. What's that phrase? If technology is advanced enough, it's indistinguishable from magic to somebody who doesn't actually understand the technology. So maybe he's not a sorcerer, maybe he's just using advanced technology. I don't know, but the fact is, he does have laser spider webs. This is like something out of Austin Powers where they're like, I need sharks with freaking laser beams on their heads. Quan Chi's basically rolling in and saying, I need a fortress with freaking laser spider webs to knock people into, and that's exactly what he got. Now when the opponent falls on the spider web, they do get minced into like cubed spiderweb shaped pieces, and I really do like it. The bizarre nature of this death trap is something I really like. It comes out of left field, it's creative as hell, so it is making the top 10. Bouncing into the number 3 spot, behind Lower Mind's Cute Dragon, behind Dragon King's Temple, we got Quan Chi's Fortress. Up next is the Sky Temple.
Scorpion wins. Flawless victory.
I really like the Sky Temple Death Trap, and it's similar to Mortal Kombat 2 Pit Fatality, which I have previously knocked in prior top 10 videos, top 10 Mortal Kombat 2 video anyways, because you're basically just falling on a flat surface. In Mortal Kombat 2, for instance, the character falls and like cracks their head, breaks their back on the flat surface below. There's no spikes, and that's the same with the Sky Temple here in Mortal Kombat Deception. There's no spikes, you're just falling on a flat surface. But why do I like it? Because this has an exaggerated fall time. This is like 7 or 8 seconds of fall time, and you get to hear your opponent scream all the way down. So if you're the one performing this death trap on someone, this is 7 or 8 seconds of pure joy before they hit the ground and explode into pieces. It's a really cool death trap, and so for that reason it is making the top 10. Bouncing into the number 6 spot is the Sky Temple Death Trap. Up next we've got Slaughterhouse.
Scorpion wins. Flawless victory.
So Melina gets knocked into these spinning spiked turbines, and her body actually stops the turbines for a split second. And then she yells as the tension builds, and ultimately she gets minced into meat and dumped into the slaughterhouse blood pool. Now I'm not sure if this is a slaughterhouse in the sense this is where people fight and get slaughtered, or if this is a slaughterhouse like this is where food is processed. If this is where food is processed, Melina's body is going to get processed into someone's meal, which is a little bit of a wild, gnarly idea. For me, I really like this death trap, but this is like a number 11 or 12 for me. I'd probably put this at number 11 and then the Lower Minds Grinder at number 12. The two death traps are similar, but I would put them at 11 and 12, so not making the top 10. Up next is a big one. It's the Pit.
Scorpion wins. Flawless victory.
I love the Pit death trap. For me, the Pit is the quintessential, it is the classic stage fatality. It is part of the zeitgeist of Mortal Kombat culture. Everyone knows about the Pit fatality, and they have basically recreated the Pit arena very well here. They've got the moon, they've got the moonlit sky, they've got the spikes along the columns, and they've got the blood-stained spikes at the bottom. This one delivers in every way I could have ever imagined or recommended. So for that reason, this is bouncing into the number 1 spot. And if I'm blinded by nostalgia, so be it. I'm blinded by nostalgia. But I can live with that. I can live with putting this confidently in the number 1 spot. Because if you're comparing it, what comes close? Yeah, we got Cute Dragon in the lower mines. We got Dragon King's Temple, sure. We've got the laser spider webs. We got the Foundry. All really cool, but nothing. I'm putting this at number 1, and number 2 through 10 are all very distant. I don't consider them contenders for the number 1 spot at all. So, roast me in the comments if you have to, but I am putting the pit in the number 1 spot. That leaves us with one last arena to go, Yin Yang Island, and you can actually only perform the death trap here when it's dark with lightning in the background.
Scorpion wins. Flawless victory.
So Melina gets knocked into the water here on Yin Yang Island, and I've always assumed that it's piranhas that are eating her body up, but to be honest, this could be anything. I do think I see like a form of a fish, but it could be like a netherrealm beast fish, which I would have no idea what it is. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a piranha. Whatever it is, an aquatic animal, or more than one aquatic animals, chew Melina up to pieces, and there's a little pool of blood there where she does get chewed up. This is a cool death trap, but it does not make the top 10 for me. I don't know what it is about it. Piranha death trap just isn't making the cut. I like spikes, I like lava, I like acid, that kind of thing. Falls from great distances. Piranhas are cool, but it seems to be like a happenstance kind of death trap. It's not an arena designed with death trap in mind. Like if you're the creator of the pit and you put spikes at the bottom, like hell yeah, that's used for killing people. If you're at Deadpool, it's like hell yeah, there's a moat of acid on every side. Sky Temple, knock someone off, sure. Quan Chi's Fortress, I put these laser spider webs here so people can fall into them. So putting well, hold on, let me take all that back. Maybe somebody seeded the water around Yin Yang Island with flesh-eating piranhas. In which case, I apologize. If that's the case, then yeah, this is a death trap designed by the arena creator. I guess we'll never know, and for that reason, this is not making the top 10. So here is my top 10 Mortal Kombat Deception death trap list. It's a nice mix of nostalgia and new creative death traps. I mean, nostalgia, we've got the pit, which hell yeah, number 1 spot, but we've also got Deadpool at the number 9 spot. I love the lower mines Cute Dragon Chomper. I'm just gonna call that the Dragon Chomper from now on. Dragon King's Temple, love it. Spider webs that are made out of lasers, hell yeah. Foundry, smolten people onto metal, I love it. Falling cliffs where both combatants fall off at the same time. That really surprised me the first time I saw it. I love that creativity. Sky Temple, 7 or 8 second fall. I'm gonna go time it actually. Dark Prison, Body Compactor, Deadpool, Kuaton Palace. These are all, and even the ones that did not make the top 10, are all amazing death traps. This kind of attention to detail and creativity mixed with nostalgia is what made Mortal Kombat Deception so amazing. Like I said, it's probably one of the best Mortal Kombat games ever made. I don't say that lightly. It's the complete game. It has excellent fatalities. It has an excellent character select. It has excellent death traps. It has an extensive conquest mode, which could be a game by itself, a standalone game. It has amazing crypt content. You can play this game for hours and hours, days, weeks, months. You can come back to it years later and play it all over again. It still holds up, but I am getting sidetracked. And because it's such a great game, I really do enjoy making these top 10 videos, and I hope you all enjoy watching them. Let me know what you would have put in the top 10. Maybe drop me a comment. Let me know your top 3, top 5, top 10. Let me know what I put in my top 10 that you think shouldn't have made it. All of these death traps and top 10 lists are extremely subjective, so I'm always very interested to hear what other people think about these. That's it for now. Y'all take it easy. I'm out.